apparently, it seems that how did he put it? I think he referred to himself as Mr. EXW is having a little trouble over there with the EX side of things. And as I see it, we're still under a merger contract, you know, and his former CEO, DeAngelo Heart, and I have set forth a contract under EXW before he resigned as an EX superstar and as an EX CEO. I'm not sure if he made everyone aware of it, but the proposal was that we needed talent on the EX side of things, and EX needed talent on this side of things, or on the E-Pow side of things. So the proposal went something like this. He was going to resign as an EXW superstar and resign as an E-Pow superstar. However, there was a few stipulations. Stipulation 1 was he got to choose one superstar on the E-Pow roster to represent EXW here in Philadelphia. And in exchange, he would represent E-Pow in Oil City. And it was brought to my attention recently by Mr. Hart that no one has spoken on this yet. So I'm doing it now. Tyrant was his choice. But the agreement was, and this is the stipulation, that if we did this whole thing, that DeAngelo Heart would sign on as the acting co-CEO of E-Pow in exchange for Tyrant. And when he signed, he would sign on as acting co-CEO of EXW. So maybe he can help Mr. EXW restore some order on the EXW side of things. Now that that's out the way, and that everyone is aware of the contract that is still signed and still in effect, maybe Mr. EXW should try and contact Tyrant and they put their heads together and restore order. As far as this Neo match, first off, Frost, brother, because we are brothers, and we have been for a long time. You've always been like a brother to me. I would expect more from you when scheduling matches. Yes, you made a good point about China being a female, which, if you can remember, at one point in time, it was questioned that if China was even really a female. But after the little Playboy thing that she did, where she posed nude and shocked the world by proving she was actually a female, her career went downhill. if you remember correctly. Not to bash China, because she was an excellent superstar. My thing is, you're a man. We have morals. And as far as I've known, the history goes back a long time. As far as I've known, and for as long as I've known you, you were never the type to approve of a man putting his hands on a female. There are far other greater ways to get even with someone who interferes in your business. Especially if it's female related and it involves a man. And as for Neo, rookies usually act in such a manner. And I expect that from you because you are a rookie. You know, but wouldn't that make you less of a man to know that you stepped in a ring with a female and acquired a U.S. title shot? Do you feel like you would have earned that title by beating up on a female? Do you feel like that is the right way to go about obtaining a title? Now, mind you, I recently awarded an EXW superstar by the name of Dante Infernus the E-Pow World Dominant title. But there was a reason behind that. Secondly, I didn't steal anyone. In fact, it was DeAngelo Heart's idea to join as an E-Pow superstar and resign from EX. And as far as you stealing the belt, you do realize that every contract has a clause. And I believe I made it perfectly clear to you that in the event that you try and screw me or anyone else in this business as the E-Pow World Dominant Champion, that title will be stripped from you. So this video that you posted as a person who wasn't even seen in the video, more or less this audio that you posted, you mentioned that Mr. Intensity, or aka the Insane Assassin, has stolen something from EXW, and in the process you stolen something from them. You were awarded the title. You didn't earn it. Now, yes, I awarded you that title, and I have high expectations from you. And I believe that you could be a good champion, and you will be a good champion. And I believe that you even deserve to wear gold around your waist. You may even be deserving of the title of EX Champion or E-Pow World Dominant Champion. However, you haven't proven to me as of yet that you are worthy of the title. I'm not going to strip you of the title. I'm not going to enforce the clause as of yet. Just keep one thing in mind. I've been in this business for a long time, and I've been doing this for even a longer time. And I will not be screwed. So if I sense just the slightest bit of betrayal, or I feel like you're trying to backstab me in any way. The personal business that you have with Mr. EXW, that business will be nothing compared to the personal business you will have with me. And eventually, I will make it out there to Oil City. But as of right now, there's only one E-Pow superstar you should be worried about. Mr. DeAngelo Heart. Mr. DeAngelo Heart, I know that you're planning something. What? I have no idea. But I'll figure it out. Because as you said once before, in the message and in the post, great minds think alike. Never forget where you started and how you got to be where you are today. Now that that's out the way, Jay Frost, bro, try to get a grip. You walk around, talk about how much you were a man and how you came back to handle business. And how nothing is personal. But to me, all I've seen in your promos and your little videos that you've been posting here and there, and your little statuses on the book and on, Twitter and wherever else you may post, is complaining and personal business. So, you contradict yourself. And these contradictions have led me to see one thing. You're losing control over this business. You're losing faith in your superstars. You're losing grip on your match scheduling abilities. You're losing grip on even everything that you talk about. You try and back out of a match that I've set up. You try to change the rules and make it a 2-on-1 match. It was never intended to be a 2-on-1 match. And yes, people may look at you if you back out of the triple threat match as a coward. And if you accept it, people may talk about, oh, well, he said that's not what he's about or whatever. But just think of what you have to prove. Not only do you get a shot at the E-Pow World Dominant title, but you get to handle your business with Dante and Furnace, and you get the epicness of the Destined One, and you get to face him. And since it's elimination style, no disqualification, lumberjack match with triple threat rules, special guest referee at the same time, which, by the way, there was a clause in that too, that if anyone backed out of that match or tried to back out, that if they are a current champion, they will be stripped of their titles and not be able to defend them or receive a title shot for up to 6 months. You're not a champion, so you have nothing to worry about. But there are 2 champions that were placed in this match. The match was set up the way it was set up for a reason. It was designed the way it was designed for a reason. Each one of you involved in this match has something to prove. Mr. Dante Infernus has to prove that he is worthy of carrying the E-Pow World Dominant title. DeAngelo Heart has to prove that win, lose, or draw, he's going to stay true to his word. And you, on the other hand, you have to sort things out and get your affairs in order with both of the superstars. As far as bringing DeAngelo Heart back to EXW, that is a decision that he made. I didn't make it for him. You didn't make it for him. Dante didn't make it for him. He made up his own mind. And if today or tomorrow he decides that he wants to leave E-Pow and go back to EX, I have no problem with that. Because unlike EX, E-Pow has talent. And we can get talent. And talent comes and goes. You know, people make up their minds to do what's better for their careers, for their business, for themselves. Sometimes they go where the money is. Sometimes they go where the fame is. Sometimes they go where the glory is. Sometimes they just go to where they'll be treated better. Now, DeAngelo Heart's reasoning for joining, only he knows that. DeAngelo Heart's reasoning for quitting EX, only he knows the real reason to that. But while it is the way it is, let's make the best of it. Use Tyrant to get back with E-Pow, or back at E-Pow, if you would like. Use DeAngelo Heart to do whatever promos you want to do, or whatever you feel is necessary to boost your ratings. But let me tell you one thing. No one, and I mean no one, is going to destroy what I've worked so hard to create. If this business falls, it will be by my own hands. Because I refuse to let a former student of mine and someone that I put a lot of faith in over the years, someone I've watched grow from a rising superstar to practically a living legend as myself, and a few other names that will remain nameless as of right now. I did mention to Mr. Hart that E-Pow has some new talent coming up. However, I'm not sure that I'm ready to admit or even mention who this new talent is yet. Just know that we've been working on a few things, and I'm in the final stages of my recovery from my injuries. So I've been doing some hand-to-hand combat, some in-ring action as of late. Hasn't been a lot, hasn't been much, but I'm getting back into the sway of things. And I assure you that when I feel like I'm back at 100% and I do step back into the ring full time, that EX Mania 8 will look like it was designed for rookies. Because all of E-Pow's work from that point on will be epic. Each and every match will be greater than the last, as it should be. And as far as you being the one that could possibly bring DeAngelo Heart back, I take nothing away from you on that. I take nothing away from DeAngelo Heart. You fail to realize I've worked with both of you guys. I've been in matches with both of you. I recall an In Your House match a few years back before I retired and came back, where I was inadvertently struck with an illegal object and knocked clean out. And as I was recovering, Mr. DeAngelo Heart was climbing a staircase with intentions on performing a frog splash from the top of the staircase, in which J. Frost himself was supposed to be the recipient of that frog splash. However, the outcome wasn't as expected. And me, myself, even though I didn't walk out that match as the victor, even though Hart didn't walk out that match as the victor, we all made history that night. If it wasn't for your presence, my presence, and Hart's presence, E-Pow wouldn't have reached the levels that it have reached. If it wasn't for my knowledge and your talent, as well as Mr. Hart's talent, we wouldn't have been as successful as we are today. So I take nothing away from you or Hart. And I wish both of you the best of luck in this match. This last man standing match that you have coming up. I wish both of you the best of luck, and I'm rooting for the better man. I actually want you to finally get a victory over DeAngelo Heart. Because as I heard, if I heard correctly, in a certain somebody's video that was posted earlier this morning, since DeAngelo Heart has went to Oil City, he has yet to be defeated. So he has a win streak that's been going on for about 2.5 years now. Maybe a little longer, maybe a little shorter. But I'm back. And I'm not here to compete for anybody's records or go after anybody's titles. That's one reason why I didn't appoint myself as the E-Pow World Dominant Champion. Because titles are not really that important to me. What's important is running a good show. Doing what's best for this business. And you can call me a corporate jackass, or you can call me stick in the mud, or, you know, whatever you want to call me. You know, you can call me weak, but I will not stand here and let you destroy my reputation or your own. That being said, it's game time. The game is on. Showtime or whatever. But we're going to start to do things a little bit differently than what you've done thus far. So I beg of you to accept the proposal that DeAngelo Heart and I put into place about a week before he decided to resign as a EX superstar and an EX CEO, and allow Tyrant to become the acting co-CEO of EXW. Because I've always been a man of my word, and I've always been a kind-hearted person, and I've always been fair in this business. Every time I look up, every time I turn around, I see attitudes flaring up. I see superstars demanding a change, wanting a change, or speaking on how they're changing. Dante Infernus, DeAngelo Heart, the newly self-proclaimed Mr. EXW. Never once has anyone heard the insane assassin, Mr. Intensity, speak on change. So consider this. Me speaking out about changes that are going to be made, that is in effect as we speak. How you choose to accept these changes is your own personal business. How you choose to allow these changes to affect you is your own personal business. But from this point on, E-Pow equals greatness, and EXW, whatever your slogan was, I can't remember exactly word for word how it went right now, you know, because of the effects of my injury, but I'm sure that the future holds a lot for both companies. And under this merger, you have a right to schedule matches with my superstars, as well as me having a right to schedule matches with your superstars. So for you to try and go back and undo something as epic as this triple threat match, this triple threat elimination match, and try to mess it all up just to prove a point, I don't think anyone on E-Pow cards or on EX cards will allow you to take away from the ratings that match will bring. And no, it was not going to be scheduled at EX Mania, because that's an EX thing. That's something you guys done. I was going to make it at an E-Pow event that was only worthy of a match like this. The main event. The biggest, most epic E-Pow event in the history of E-Pow. And yes, Frost and Heart, you guys both know what event I'm talking about. So I don't have to mention any event names or any dates or times, because you already know. It's that time of the year, and the event is quickly approaching. So I ask one last time for you guys to think about what it is that makes this business. And if you want to add stipulations, I'm fine with that. If you want to add to the match, I'm fine with that. But don't take away the epicness that's already been set up. As CEO of E-Pow, I officially appoint DeAngelo Heart as co-CEO, acting co-CEO of E-Pow. And Mr. Neo, I got some good news for you too. But as a rookie, I really don't think you deserve this. But since I'm a generous man, I'll make you an offer that most rookies never get. And I'll appoint you as acting general manager of E-Pow for this match. And until after the match, you will be acting general manager of E-Pow. But if the match doesn't go down, if it doesn't happen, then that proposal is null and void. The E-Pow World Dominant title will be vacated again. And if for any reason this decides to be an issue for anyone, and you decide to address these matters or this issue, personally, I don't want to hear it. There's business to be taken care of, and we can do that in the ring or outside of the ring. But it will be a match nonetheless. Now you can either take it the way it is, how it is, for what it's worth, or you can bitch and complain, moan and groan about it. And you can get your panties in a bunch, tuck your manhood between your legs, and go running over the bridge somewhere. Nothing personal against you or EXW. I've never had anything personal against either of y'all. I do what's best for the business. So, my final word are as I post on my Facebook status from time to time. Most feared, most loved. Translation: God.